Hello, and welcome into the CatCast. Here again, as always, is your host, Kat Kennison, to bring you the topics of the day that we are going to discuss. Kitty was sitting here earlier, but she decided to go out on the kitty porch with Callie, and Boba's napping on her bed, so no kitties here right now. But you never know, they may show up throughout the cast. So if they do, more than likely one of them's going to come through this door over here because there's two of them out there, and Boba's probably just going to be sleeping. Anyways, glad to have everybody here today. I think everybody knows what the topic is today, of course, because we were discussing it yesterday, and I said we were going to follow it again today, and it is the protest that is going on across the country. No Kings protest, but today they are actually calling it against Trump protest. The protest against Trump, or I don't know what exactly it said, but it didn't have anything really about the No Kings. It was on the banner across the news channels. It was more about, against the Trump administration. It said stuff like that. So that was interesting. Also interesting, I was watching Fox News for like ever, waiting for them to give me an update on it, and they never did. And I'm like, okay, so I have a multi-news channel thing that will show me 6 news channels at once on my satellite system. And I went to it, and then I saw CNN and MSNBC both running stories. I could tell right off the bat because they had drone shots showing all the people there. And I could tell that it's a protest, bunch of signs, things like that. So I went and watched those two networks back and forth for a couple hours. I'm just back and forth watching. Really what I wanted to see was I wanted them interviewing the protesters. And they did that a little bit, but they weren't just walking up to people. They were pre-interviewed people, which means they took cuts from the best people. And so I wish they'd just walk up to strangers and be asking them. I want to hear what they would say. But they get the best people. They get the cuts from the best people for sure, the sound bites. Also, many of their reporters were also really good at speaking about it in a way that makes it sound like it's halfway legitimate. And I have to give them kudos for that because they were really good at that. But that's why they weren't going to a lot of the people there, in my opinion. Because I would be like, just keep going to people. I don't know why Fox News is not running anything on it. I mean, they should be there and interviewing these people that are in the protest, because a lot of them will say ridiculous things. Now, but I'm going to be unbiased here. I thought I could come in trashing it, and I can't. For one, incredibly peaceful. There's no violence that I can see at all. But again, I didn't think there would be. It's a daytime thing. It's not like a march against the ICE people and stuff like that. It's more like against Trump. So most of these people are just the people that are in with not liking him because of all the propaganda about him. But the people did bring up great points. One of the ladies said she's totally an American, a patriot, and she didn't want people to say it's the Hate America protest. And I understand that too. I don't think they hate America. I think they're misguided about it. Because if they want a bunch of illegals in here, then you're basically destroying the country that we now live in. And that's kind of where our thought process is. A lot of these people don't want to melt into the pot. They want to just get in there and stay frozen and stay how they were instead of melting into our society. That's also the issue that we have. But I can't ever debate this stuff with people like I want to, because they just don't reason the way you need to reason about things. And so the one lady also brought up that she Had 4 kids, normal thing, which that's pretty ordinary. But the thing that they don't seem to understand is that they think we can be brainwashed, but they don't think they can be. And that's what makes me wonder why they think it can only be one way. And I really am. I think about policies individually, and but these people never give Trump credit for anything. They just hate him. Nobody's out there saying, "Oh, he did a good job with the peace deal." Nobody's out there talking about how he stopped India and Pakistan at being at war, and they're 2 nuclear powers. Nobody talks about that. All they want to talk about is how much they hate him. And I think it's really just because they're told to. They're programmed to. And I really get the feeling when I see everybody out there. Another reporter was like, "I see a lot of women here. A lot of women." I'm like, okay. What does that mean? That mean that more women don't like Trump? Could they just not have less things to have to do? And that could be it. He said, I see a lot of children in strollers. Well, they're there because they have to be there. There ain't no kid there that wants to be there, I guarantee you. You think some kid wants to go march and hold signs? Never in their life do they care about that, okay? They want to play, have fun. I mean, this is ridiculous that they think, the kids, kids are support. They don't know what the hell's going on. They do whatever their parents do. They're just the new people getting brainwashed into the cult. Sorry to say it, but it's true. So on MSNBC, Timothy Snyder said that it's an absolute truth, okay? An absolute consensus that we are heading to an authoritarian regime. He said everybody is absolute truth, absolute consensus on this. I don't think that. You think that, and some other people think that. But I thought it was going that way before, when we had Biden censoring everything that was going on, and we had all these people couldn't do anything. Is Trump censoring anybody? And I hate this warfare. Oh, he's going after his political opponents. He's going after people that broke the law, okay? They broke the law. That's all there is to it, okay? They went after Trump because he was their political opponent, okay? Because they thought they would get them into office. Letitia James thought they'd get her into office. Now she's in trouble because she lied and said that house was her primary house. How dumb are people? She's not even living there. Some relative of hers living there, okay? And the relative doesn't sound like a good lady either, from what I've heard. But I don't know the person. I'm not going to even go into that. All I know is she broke the law, and now we're getting her for it. John Bolton broke the law, okay? And now we're getting him for it. It has nothing to do with anything except they broke the law. And they said, nobody is above the law. Okay then. So why are people upset now? I really don't understand it. It's really a crazy thing. So we're keeping on this protest though. I diagnosed it for 2 hours. I was watching. Very few interviewed people. Most of it was reporter talk. Okay, and they have them polished at what to say. Okay. But I don't know what they hope to accomplish by this. Because a lot of the other people, a lot of us support what Trump is doing. So it's like you guys are just upset because you lost the election, and you're going to whine about it for the rest of the Trump's term. Is that what we get to look forward to? You guys whining like little babies? Because that's what you're doing out there. We won, okay? Did we ever go out when Biden was in office and protest Biden being in office? Do you remember any marches like that? Do you? No, we didn't do any. We know how it works. He was in for 4 years. When he was up, we were like, can't wait to get him out. Why can't you guys just be the same way? I'm really asking you. I'm totally serious. What do you think you're going to accomplish here? You basically are spitting in our faces. You don't care that we won the election, and you're trying to do this big march, trying to make it look like there's a whole bunch of people that support it, when there's way more people right now not at those marches, not wasting their time, because like me, I'm doing a podcast about it. I'm going to go out and do something like that, And then I don't see any of them at big red states. I only see them in your big blue states. You guys basically want to run the entire country for everybody. You're just not happy with the way we've decided that we would like it to be run. And you complain about it. And you go and you stomp your feet and you look like little toddlers having a tantrum in the supermarket with their parent because they won't buy them something. It's what you look like. I'm not kidding. Now, most of them today, it's just a big march. I don't see a lot of kooks out there. I really don't, besides the ones that are dressed up in crazy outfits, which makes it more like it's a show and like it doesn't mean anything. Some people say they just didn't have anything to do. We just didn't have much to do, so they'll come out. Yeah, good. Yeah, nothing to do, so, come out. This is free marching and complaining, putting down our president, It's awful. We have a great president now. We had somebody that we thought was a bumbling idiot, not even running the country, who you guys said was perfectly fine. And now we have someone that's actually making the decisions, and you're upset now how presidency works. You're like, we'd rather have it done by a committee. We don't like one person making the decisions. That's what the president does. He has a cabinet. They recommend things. He makes the call. It's really sad that we have to even have this stupid thing going on, To me, it's an embarrassment to the rest of the world. You got a right to protest. You just look stupid, like little crybabies, And you don't have any unified message. There's still things about Gaza out there. We have freed Gaza. Okay, why are you still bringing Gaza up? I saw it today. Philly loves Gaza. What's that out there for now? Like, we love Gaza. Everybody does now. It's all good. I don't understand. They will complain about, they have their things that they complain about, and they just want to keep complaining about them, even when they get solved. Here comes Callie. She's not going to stay, I guess. Yeah, let's see. I'll let you know if she's going to the water, head to the food bowl, or to go to the bathroom. Yeah, don't tell them that. Keep that a secret. Sorry, Callie. Oh, well. I lost my place. I always lose my place when the cat comes in. That Timothy Snyder, he also said that it was their duty to, resist. What are you going to resist exactly? Do you mean break the law? What does that mean, resist? And I just want to go back, be like the Borg, and be like, resistance is futile. You will be assimilated. That's what I want to do. What does he mean? Timothy Snyder, MSNBC. He said you have to resist. What are you going to do? Break laws and stuff? Tell us, how are you going to resist? And all the stuff they pick on, too, about these protests, that are going on at the ICE and stuff. They're like, they pushed them to the ground. They roughed them up a little bit. These people are doing crazy stuff, too. So, yeah, you get roughed up a little bit. That's just the way it is. When you get your handcuffs and stuff, they might push you down, get on your back and stuff. That's kind of common practice so that you can't do anything. Cops just do that. I mean, come on. Unless you totally surrender to them, they're going to push you to the ground, get their knee on your back, and put cuffs on you or zip ties. That's kind of like a technique they're taught. Unless you turn around and surrender. All you got to do is surrender. Put your hands behind your back, surrender to them. They won't do it, because then they will get in trouble. If you turn around with your hands together, and like you just walk backwards to them, and they push you to the ground, then you might have a case. I'm going to say, hey, he was surrendering, But most times people aren't surrendering. They're trying to escape. They don't just surrender. That's what happens. That was one of the things the guy brought up about people being mistreated. If you're not at the ICE facility protesting, you're not going to ever have an issue. I didn't, because I don't go there, and I don't try to do anything to the people there. So the point that he's saying doesn't even make sense. I'm like, if the person is not there protesting ICE, which is a legal order, I don't know what they're protesting exactly. They're doing their job. What, they don't want them to do their job? I mean, they're protesting the wrong person. They need to go and protest their congressmen and their senators, okay, and the president. But they'd rather just attack the people that are just doing their job, which doesn't make sense. It's not going to stop anything. Do you understand? Those people are paid to do their job, and until that job is no longer a job, they're going to do it. Why are you protesting them? That would be like me going to a school, protesting them teachers from teaching. Hey, don't be teaching those kids. Don't be teaching those. They're doing their job. What am I protesting? If I don't want kids to go to school, then I need to go to the government and get something changed where they don't have to go to school. Or I need to homeschool, I need to do something like that. I don't get the comparison of what these people are doing and how it's law-abiding thing. They want anarchy. They don't want the rules, the laws of this country enforced. That's basically what they don't want. Well, then why are you upset at the people that the ICE people didn't make this law, okay? The government did. So they are protesting at the wrong place. Anybody get that? It's just Cat that gets that. It makes no sense. Get to Washington and protest, all right? Portland needs to cut it out in their city. Broadville, Illinois needs to cut it out and get to Washington, get them change the laws, okay? But they know that's not going to happen. So they'd rather just look stupid protesting something that's never going to change. What is the definition of insanity? According to Albert Einstein, who was the smartest person probably ever on this planet, at least in recent time, said it's doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. How many times have you guys done this protest of Trump? There's been tons of protests. How often has it affected policy change? I can't ever think of a time. Let's think. You ever think of a time when we would back down to some protesters and actually do what they want? That would teach everybody, hey, you just go make a big stink about something, and we will not do it anymore. That's insane. That is insane. I don't want crazy people getting their way because they just go out and do crazy stuff. I don't want policy changing just because a bunch of people are willing to go out and walk in the street because they got nothing better to do and hold a sign. I don't care how many people are out there, to tell you the truth. They're all stupid. I'm sorry to say it. You guys are brainwashed into believing the bad thing. I saw a thing on Facebook today, and one of my friends had put yes at the top in all caps, and I'm like, okay, I'll look at it. And it's a lady that used to be in the military, and she's upset with Pete Hegseth because he's made the standards the same. But she's an older lady, and I'm pretty sure that when she passed, she had to pass the standards. These standards were changed later, So she had to pass the standards that Hegseth has brought back into place. So I'm not sure what she was upset about. I'm like, he He made it back to the way she had to get in, where it was a fair, level playing field, you know? And then they changed it later when she wasn't in there and made it so people that were not as in shape or couldn't do the task could still get in. That's what we changed back to the way that it was when she got in. I listened to what she said. She was very upset, and it's hard to watch when they can't speak calmly. And there were several cuts. She had to cut and go and cut and go. And she's sitting in her car, and I'm like, I always think the ones in the car are, can't you spend a little bit more time? You're just doing it in your car, you know? And they always are doing it with the reverse camera or the wide angle, which just distorts and looks off. I know I'm putting too much into the video process, but I'm like, if you want me to take you seriously, you should be able to do it in one take and maybe do it in a nice environment where it's not just sitting in your car and you're holding your phone with the big wide angle camera and talking to it, you know. I wasn't impressed by it. I did leave a couple comments. Who knows if anybody will hear back to me. I always say, hey, anybody ever complain about ladies' night? There's no men's night. There's ladies' night. Ladies get in free. When's men's night? There isn't one. Anybody ever say anything about that? Just saying. Not fair. All we did with the military is made it back to where it's got to be the same thing for everybody. I don't get why she's upset. Because she was an older lady, like I said. It's had to be the way it was when she was in, too. Okay? Then they lowered the requirements to let in people that probably couldn't pull the weight that they need to pull, which would mean other people would have to pull that weight, which would mean when you're in an emergency situation, like any of the military could be in, that's going to be a drag on your unit. I don't get what they have a problem with. Do they want people to not be able to handle their stuff and be a drag on their unit and maybe get more people killed? I wish she would have explained to me what her actual issue was instead of just ranting and raving about how she wanted to be a pilot and then she did become a pilot, but she was told she couldn't be a pilot. Well, you know, I know someone that they told her she'd never walk again. She'd be confined to a wheelchair. And you know what? That wasn't the case. So just because somebody tells you something doesn't mean you can't go and do it, does it? And I don't know why she was upset either. That's another thing to say, well, they told me I couldn't do it, and I did. So I don't even know if she's telling the truth. The story, though, to me seems weird. A lot of times you hear some stories that you don't believe because they don't sound like, why would she want it, the standard, after she had to get in with the standard being so hard, why would she want it lessened for people after her? You know, that would diminish what she did. Then they'll let, and you know, she did it with the high standards. Why would she want to diminish what she did? See, it doesn't make sense, does it? When you analyze it that way, it's quite a conundrum, you know? And that's why I didn't buy it a whole lot, you know? I have a friend who also is a lady that was in the military. I have all respect for ladies in the military. Nobody is slighting them. All that Pete did was say we're going to have the same standards. And that wasn't an issue in the past. And now it's an issue for some reason. And I don't know why. But nobody says that there's no men's night. That's not an issue. Oh, well, the ladies bring the men in. Oh. I thought it was everything's supposed to be equal. I didn't think it was supposed to be, you know. So I don't care. If you do a ladies' night, then you should do a men's night, you know. Life is just that way. Women have a lot of advantages that men do not have. We can't make babies. Number one thing, a man cannot make a baby, okay? A woman can pretty much get sex anytime she wants if she wants it. A man cannot. A woman gets way more attention than men do. Way more attention. A woman can get a sugar daddy. It's very rare for men to get sugar mommies. It does happen, but not as much. Women are generally tipped more because they're women. Not really fair to men, is it? But it's true. Because they're usually getting tipped by men. And a man will tip somebody that's attractive and the opposite sex more than they will to someone of the same sex, unless they're gay. Then that person might be the reverse. But men generally tip more than women. That's pretty much a fact. So I've just noticed there are tons of things. A woman can decide to have a baby or decide not to have a baby. A man has no choice in becoming a father. If she wants to have that baby, you're going to become a father. Now, if she wants to give it up for adoption, she has to get your permission. But not to kill the baby. To abort the baby, she doesn't need your permission, even if you're married to her. You know? But she does to give it away for adoption. Isn't that interesting? I always thought that wasn't fair. Well, the woman has to, bear the pregnancy for 9 months. Well, the man has to pay for 18 years of that child support. I mean, that's way more than 9 months. Well, it affects her body. Oh, it doesn't affect the man's body having to work for 18 years and take care of a child that he never intended on even having? You know? Where the woman got all the power. If he will not give it up for adoption, she could threaten that she's going to kill it. I'll just abort it then if you won't sign this. Man can't do nothing about that, can he? Just saying. Everybody wants to say, oh, men, they got it great. They got it great. I would trade the place with a hot woman any day of the week. Why do you think there are so many dudes wanting to be ladies? Didn't really plan on talking about this, but it's a great topic. Why do you think there's so many dudes wanting to be ladies? You get treated way better. You get attention. It would be so cool for a guy and a girl to change places for one day and see how the other person feels and see what they think, you know? Because personally, I think ladies have all the power over here. Now, maybe over in other countries, it's a man's world. But over here, women have all the power, and everybody knows it. And I get a little upset when I see people complaining about things that I don't see an issue with, you know. I really think they should have to do the same thing that the men have to do. If they got to be able to hold that amount of gear, they can't expect someone else to carry it for them. It's pretty basic stuff why they have to have it the same. I mean, that's just the way it is. I think somebody complained about uniforms, having to wear man uniforms or boots that were too big for them. Well, what's the difference in the uniform exactly? You just get it's a baggy uniform, right? I don't know what the difference is between men and women uniforms. I guess maybe they have new ones now. You shouldn't have to have boots that are too big for you, though. I would agree that's an issue. But I don't know what you mean about men's and women's uniforms, you know. What's supposed to be different about them? You know, as long as they fit you. I don't know what she was talking about there myself. Did she want a different uniform because she's a lady? I mean, what? I don't know. A lot of the posts I read, I just didn't understand But I don't understand liberal perspectives a lot of times, and I try to. I try to, you know. All I can say is you could relate it to. We're out of time. We're out of time. I was just checking the clock, man. I filled up the whole time. Dang. All right. Well, that's got to be the end of it today. Sorry, everybody. I was just checking to see how much time. We're out of time. So we'll have to come back to this. Another great podcast. I really love doing these. I hope you guys enjoy them, and we'll come back and do another one tomorrow. This is your host, Kat Kennison, giving you a cha-ba-cha. We love you. We'll see you next time. Got to keep a better idea on that clock. I shrink the one down, because it puts that huge glare on my glasses. And so there's a clock, but it's super small down there. So I just happen to glance over, and it's like 30. Oh, okay, we're done. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Jabba-jab.